The champagne sparkles under the chandeliers of our Napa Valley estate, catching the light just right, like everything else. At my family's annual gala, I adjust the sleeve of my simple navy dress. The only splash of color in a room full of designer shimmer, I stand near the back, half-shadowed by a marble column, exactly where no one would think to look for me. 45 million, Jason says loudly, lifting his glass as if to toast himself. By next Thursday, Reyes Industries will officially acquire Vanguard Tech. Biggest deal we've done in 5 years. The applause that follows is immediate and enthusiastic. Jason is the star. The golden sun in a Brioni suit. My mother, Camila, stands beside him, with one manicured hand on his arm. Mijo, just like your father, building legacies. She turns toward me, her smile thinning. And there's my daughter, she says to the small group gathered around them, the one who ran away. Still saving the world, I hope. The crowd chuckles politely. I give a neutral smile and sip my water. Something like that, I say. No one asks what that means. My eyes wander the room, cousins I haven't seen in years. Uncles and aunts dressed in predictable success, tailored, tanned, and loud. They've all heard different versions of my story. Some think I moved to the Bay Area to volunteer. Others whisper I'm finding myself after some heartbreak. And a few just assume I've failed somewhere along the line. Did you ever finish that tech thing you were doing? My Aunt Marina asks, swirling her wine without looking up. I smile. Still at it? Jason interjects before I can say more. She's doing something with nonprofits, I think. Grant writing or advising. Whatever it is, she's always been more heart than hustle. He means it as a compliment. It doesn't land that way. Laughter floats around the circle. I excuse myself quietly and walk toward the back patio. The cold hits my cheeks and I welcome it. I lean against the railing, the vineyard below fading into the dusk. I can still remember a night 6 years ago sitting on the floor of my San Jose apartment. It was raining, my laptop was open, glowing with rejection. Number 18 from a VC firm, I had begged to take my call. I had texted my mother that night, just a short message. Rough day, just needed to hear your voice. No response. 2 days later, I got a group photo from the gala. I wasn't invited to. I close my eyes for a second. A cork pops behind me, pulling me back to the present. Jason's voice rises again. Honestly, Vanguard Tech is our foot in the door for AI expansion. Once we finalize, we'll be untouchable on the West Coast. He has no idea. None of them do. Inside, the band starts playing something jazzy. The crowd claps along. Jason stands center stage now. Okay. Taking credit for moves he thinks he orchestrated. I watch through the glass door. Quiet and still, I pull out my phone. One new message, Yuki. All documents prepared. Legal team confirmed for 900 a.m. Your call, I type back. Confirmed. Let them enjoy tonight. Tomorrow, everything changes. As I slide my phone back into my clutch, I catch my own reflection in the window. Not quite the ghost they believe me to be. Not anymore. I turn and walk calmly back into the room. Let them laugh. For one more night, let them believe their favorite story, that I have failed, because tomorrow they will meet the truth. By the time I slip out of the gala and into the back seat of my waiting car, the Vineyard estate is still buzzing with laughter and clinking glass. Jason's voice, inflated with confidence, echoes faintly as the door closes. The driver glances at me in the rearview mirror. Back to the Four Seasons, Ms. Reyes, I nod. Yes, and slowly, please. I lean my head against the cool leather seat and let out a breath I hadn't realized I'd been holding. For a moment, I allow the silence to settle around me. No piano music, no smug voices, just peace and the hum of everything they don't know. I reach into my clutch and retrieve my phone. Another message from Yuki. All documents confirmed. Legal team will be in position at 8:45 a.m. You walk in at 9 sharp. Let me know if you want to do the reveal or have me front it. I stare at the screen for a second, thumb hovering. I type, I'll do it. They need to see me. I tuck the phone away, gazing out at the night-lit hills of Napa. My mother thinks I'm working in nonprofit consulting. Jason thinks I'm dabbling in startups for fun. In truth, I am the founder and CEO of Reyes Ventures, a $9.2 billion private investment firm specializing in emerging tech companies, minority-led, woman-led, mostly overlooked by the very people clinking glasses. Tonight, Jason has spent the last 5 months negotiating to buy Vanguard Tech. He doesn't know I already have. The acquisition closed 2 weeks ago under a shell firm, Catalyst Group. Reyes Ventures absorbed it silently, folded it into a portfolio that now includes everything from AI logistics to biomedical patents. Jason thinks he's buying into innovation. In 12 hours, he'll learn he's begging to stay relevant, I think, that first night, 6 years ago on the floor of my studio apartment in San Jose. The job at Halcyon Capital had slipped through my fingers. I hadn't even made it to the second interview. A voicemail from the recruiter had played on loop. We're looking for someone with a more traditional trajectory. Traditional. I remember staring at the half-eaten box of lo mein and crying, not because I wasn't chosen, but because in that moment, I believed them, believed I had peaked at Harvard, believed my best years were already behind me, but that night I opened a blank spreadsheet and started listing ideas, not pitch decks, not products people. Brilliant people who had been told the same thing, undervalued, uninvited, invisible. That spreadsheet became a mailing list. That list became a fund. That fund became Reyes Ventures. And tomorrow it will become my signature on the contract that ends my family's illusion of power. I'm not just walking into a boardroom. I'm stepping into the very seat they told me I'd never earn. And this time I'm not asking. The clatter of silverware and bursts of laughter fill the long banquet table. Candles flicker between towering floral arrangements. I sit 2 seats down from my mother, slicing through my salmon while mentally reciting tomorrow's schedule. Jason swirls his wine like he was born doing it. We're just waiting on the final signature, he says. To a cluster of wide-eyed second cousins. By Monday, Vanguard Tech is ours. Their AI diagnostic system is next level, might even pivot us into the medtech space. That's incredible, Jason. Aunt Claudia gushes. You always know how to spot the winners. I keep my eyes on my plate. Across from me, cousin Marissa raises a brow. You still in San Jose, Lena? Yes, I reply, sipping my water. What is it you're doing again? Something like mentoring underrepresented founders. Her smile is sharp. That's sweet, Jason chuckles. She's always had the heart of a teacher. Shame about the rest, though. All that potential, that Harvard brain, and she's what? Giving TED Talks in coffee shops. Marissa laughs behind her hand. Wasted Ivy League education. The table erupts in chuckles. I don't flinch. I let the words float over me like smoke that can't touch me anymore. I can still remember that one. Thanksgiving, I didn't come home. I sat in the back of a rented co-working space, my blazer wrinkled from sleeping on a friend's couch. I pitched Reyes Ventures. Then just a Google Doc with a name to 19 investors over Zoom. All 19 said no. One said, "You're smart, but you don't look like the kind of person who builds something big." I hadn't eaten turkey that year, just cold pizza and a promise to myself that I would never forget how that felt. Back at the table, Jason raises his glass to family and to taking bold risks that actually pay off. Glasses clink. I raise mine too, but don't drink. I catch my own reflection in the polished side of the wine bucket. They still don't see me, but tomorrow they will. Let them toast tonight. Let them believe I've lost. I have built an empire while they were busy clapping for each other. My suite at the Four Seasons is quiet, lit only by the amber glow of a single floor lamp. I sit cross-legged on the couch, my laptop open. Contract PDFs lined up like soldiers awaiting orders. My in-house counsel, Rena, is on the screen. Glasses perched low on her nose as she scrolls through the closing statements. Final draft is clean, Rena says. Jason signs tomorrow, or at least tries to. Once we show ownership, he won't have a choice. I nod. And Vanguard Tech's patents are fully reassigned, filed and time-stamped. It's airtight, Elena. A soft knock. Ava, my assistant, steps in, holding a cup of chamomile tea. She hesitates, then says quietly, "Are you sure you want to do this yourself?" I can't present the documents, or Yuki, can I look up? No, I need them to see me. Ava bites her lip. All of you. A slow smile curves my lips. Especially that. Ava nods and places the tea on the table. Then I'll make sure the team's ready by 8:30. The room falls silent again after the call ends. I lean back and reach for my phone. I scroll to the saved voice memos, tap one, and let the warmth of my grandmother's voice fill the room. They'll never give you a seat, mija. So build your own table, nail it down with every no they gave you. And when they ask how you did it, smile, just smile and keep building. The message ends, but I keep the phone close to my chest for a moment. My grandmother was the first to call me brilliant before Harvard, before the startups. When I was just a girl with quiet eyes and too many questions, I look at the screen again. My name signed beneath Reyes Ventures on every page. No initials, no abbreviations, just Elena Reyes in full. Tomorrow they will look me in the eye. Tomorrow they'll learn the cost of underestimating silence. I close the laptop with a quiet click. And for the first time in years, I sleep peacefully, 'cause the storm I'm about to bring, I built it myself. 30 minutes before the meeting, the Reyes Industries boardroom buzzes with anticipation. The long mahogany table gleams under rows of pendant lights. Coffee steams beside neatly stacked briefing packets. A digital clock on the wall ticks toward 9:00 a.m. And Jason adjusts his tie for the third time. Our father, Carlos Reyes, sits at the head of the table, flipping through a leather portfolio. This deal cements our future, he says to no one in particular. The Vanguard Tech acquisition will give us AI leverage for the next decade. Jason grins, palms planted on the table. The CEO's flying in personally. Shows respect. They know who they're dealing with. Beside him, two attorneys murmur over contracts, triple-checking signature lines and contingencies. The board members begin to file in, nodding with clipped greetings and curious glances. Everyone has heard. This is the big one, the deal that will push Reyes Industries into the next league. At 8:59, I walk in. I wear a tailored black suit, sharp angles, and quiet command. No jewelry, no distraction, just presence. Jason blinks. Elena, his smile falters. You're early, meeting with HR or something? Our father frowns. We're about to have a very important meeting. I know, I reply calmly, stepping forward. That's why I'm here. Jason laughs a little too loud. We're waiting for the Vanguard Tech CEO, not family support. I set my briefcase down and open it. From it, I pull out a single folder embossed in deep navy, the Reyes Ventures logo, glinting under the lights. The room shifts, our father leans forward. Elena, what are you doing? I glance around the table, then back to him. For the past 5 months, you've been negotiating with Vanguard Tech through what you thought were third-party intermediaries. Jason's brow furrows. Yeah. Catalyst Group. Catalyst Group, I repeat with a nod, is a subsidiary of Reyes Ventures. Silence crashes into the room like a wave. Jason's mouth opens, but no sound comes. I continue calm and precise. Reyes Ventures now owns 60% of Vanguard Tech. The patents, the software, the IP, everything. I hand the folder to the lead attorney. Inside are the full legal documents confirming the acquisition, timestamps, and filings with the state of California. Jason's hands are shaking as he flips through them. Our father looks stunned. This can't be real. It is, I say softly. Every meeting, every counteroffer, every clause you added, I reviewed personally. Why wouldn't you tell us? Jason asks, voice rising. I meet his eyes. Because you never asked. A beat passes. No one moves. Then I walk slowly to the chair at the center of the table, the one Jason has been circling all morning, and sit down. This is where I belong, I say. Not as your sister, as the woman you negotiated with, as the CEO you never saw coming. Jason still hasn't moved. This is some kind of stunt. I shake my head. This isn't revenge, Jason. It's business. Our father's voice is quiet now. You've built all this, I nod. Reyes Ventures is valued at $9.2 billion. We have investments across 5 continents. We've helped launch more than 3 companies, most of them led by people no one else would bet on. People like me, I pause. My Harvard diploma is framed in my office in San Francisco. But this? I look around the room steady and unshaken. This is my real graduation. The board attorney stands. Sir, these documents are valid. She's not here to sell Vanguard Tech. She already owns it. Jason's face is pale. You played us. No, I say, rising again. I played the long game. I collect the folder from the table and look to my father. You once told me I didn't have the instinct for this world, that I was too emotional, too soft. But emotion didn't build. Reyes Ventures. Strategy did, silence did. Our father doesn't speak, just stares. The weight of his misjudgment settling around him. I give them a final nod. I built my own seat. And now you're sitting at my table. The room still hasn't recovered when I speak again, my voice steady, but laced with something deeper, now resolve. I'm not here to sell anything, I say. I'm here to make an offer. Jason scoffs, the sound brittle. What could you possibly offer us? I turn to the board, not him. Reyes Ventures is prepared to acquire. Reyes Industries in full. We've already submitted a private tender through an affiliate one that's been under review by 3 of your board members for the last 2 weeks. 3 heads turn. One of the directors. Mr. Chen shifts in his seat and clears his throat. We thought it was a partnership proposal. I nod. A fair assumption, but now you know who's behind it. My father's voice is sharp. This is a family company, no, I say gently. It's a family brand. The company has been floundering for years. You've been propped up by legacy contracts and Jason's PR. Jason bristles. We're not for sale. You don't have a choice, I say flatly. We already hold 22% of Reyes Industries through indirect equity. We meet the threshold to trigger a shareholder vote. The attorneys around the table look stunned. One of them begins flipping frantically through his binder. I place a single-page document on the table. Here's the offer. It's above market valuation. With guarantees for current staff and transition funding, the Reyes name remains intact, but under new management. I pause, then continue, voice quieter. You mocked me for leaving, for not doing it your way, for believing in things that weren't measurable yet. Sweep across the room. But I built Reyes Ventures by betting on people no one else believed in, immigrants. Young women, first-gen founders, single moms, coding in kitchens. People like me, I look at my father and you. You bet on control. The room is silent again. One by one, the board members begin reading the offer. Jason looks like he might speak again, but this time he doesn't. The silence is no longer mine to carry. Now it is theirs. Jason stands with his arms crossed, jaw clenched so tightly his neck trembles. You planned this, you waited until we were vulnerable. I don't flinch. I waited until I was strong enough to take back what I earned. Across the table, my father, Carlos Reyes, sits frozen. His signature freshly inked on the last page of the transition packet. His hand still holds the pen knuckles, white eyes fixed on the paper like it has betrayed him. You could have told us, he mutters. Voice hollow, you didn't have to do it like this. I turn to him gently. I did, Dad. Because if I came with truth, you would have waved it away. If I came with power, you'd be forced to see me. Jason slams his hand on the table. You call this justice? No, I reply. I call it responsibility. You left me no space in this family to grow, so I built my own ground, and now I'm offering it back with structure, not bitterness. A long silence follows. The attorneys collect the documents. My name now replaces Jason's on every legal listing of executive leadership. Elena Reyes, CEO, I rise, gathering my briefcase with quiet precision. My voice still composed, carries one last sentence to the room. This isn't revenge, it's repair. As the boardroom door clicks shut behind me, the noise fades, muffled voices shuffling paper. Indignation simmering behind me. I walk down the hall and push through the glass door to the balcony. The air outside is cool. Sharp. For a moment I stand still, my back to the city skyline. My hand grips the railing, then quietly my eyes fill. Not from triumph, not from vengeance, but from the ache of 7 years spent invisible, from birthdays missed, from Thanksgivings eaten alone, from watching my name get smaller at every family table until it disappeared completely. A tear traces my cheek. Then another, I don't wipe them away. Let them fall. They aren't weakness, they are history, leaving my body. I had been underestimated, forgotten, erased. But now finally they know who I am. And more importantly, so do I as months later the laughter returns. But this time, it echoes through the open glass doors of my Palo Alto home. My garden blooms with late spring color, and soft music drifts from the speakers, hidden among the hedges. The same family that once raised eyebrows at my odd life choices now fills my backyard, sipping wine under string lights. Politely cautious, unmistakably deferential, Jason stands near the grill, wearing a branded Reyes Ventures polo. He's adjusted to his new role as head of domestic operations. It's not CEO, but it's still a seat at the table. Just not the one he expected. My father sits in a shaded corner, quiet, contemplative. He hasn't said much since the acquisition, but he comes to every family event now. Never leaving early, never arriving late. Sometimes I catch him watching me with something like understanding or perhaps regret. I don't press. My mother approaches with 2 glasses of lemonade, offering one. "You've created something incredible, Elena," she says, hesitating. "And I'm proud. I hope I say that enough." "You didn't used to," I reply gently. She nods. "I know later." As the evening mellows, I find my youngest cousin Sophia perched alone on the patio steps. Scrolling her phone, I sit beside her, still thinking about that summer camp. Sophia nods. "It's expensive. Not anymore." I reach into my bag and hand her an envelope. Inside is a full scholarship to the all-girls coding camp. I once dreamed of attending myself. Sophia's eyes widen. Why I smile for the girls they overlook. Sophia doesn't say anything, she just hugs me. And in that quiet beneath the stars and murmurs of a family slowly rearranging itself, I feel something new, not vindication, legacy. The view from my corner office stretches across the San Francisco skyline, glass towers bathed in morning light. I stand by the window, a mug of black coffee in hand, watching the city wake up. Behind me the walls are bare, no plaques, no framed magazine covers, no golden awards, just one framed quote in simple serif font. "You don't need applause to be powerful, just proof I like it that way." The world has already made enough noise. At my desk, I open my leather-bound journal, a ritual I've never let go of. I write slowly, deliberately. They used to call me a ghost in the family, but ghosts don't disappear. They haunt you with the truth you never saw coming. I pause, then underline the last sentence. It's not bitterness that lingers, it's clarity. I never needed to scream to be heard. I never needed to fight to be fierce. All I ever needed was to be underestimated long enough to build something they couldn't ignore. And now the only sound that matters is silence finally filled with my presence.